Hey friends, Tyler here. I apologize first of all if I'm sounding just a little bit stuffy. I just flew back from a little vacation. Flights just got me a little congested. But I've been away from the recording process for a couple weeks, and I'm a little overdue for what I promised you when we crossed 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is a Q&A. You all submitted your questions. My team collected them. I haven't even looked at them yet. Because I wanted this to be authentic, so you can see my reaction in the moment. Um, yeah, so here we go. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much. I can't believe how much this channel has grown. Honestly, I never thought it would get to this. So it's definitely humbling. It's a little like dumbfounding. I'm just yeah, I'm so honored. So, without further ado, I'll pull up these questions and we can get started. Okay, first one from Monica. My question is, what sent you on the journey to do this work for all of us? Um, let's see. I mean, I guess the long version is my entire life. um, Perhaps the version you're looking for is probably something like this. Um, I was, I was a very creative kid. I was a band nerd. I played the trumpet. Um, I really, really loved playing the trumpet a lot. And as I kind of got into my teenage years, I wanted to be cool. I, to a degree, burnt out on how hard I was going with music. And there were a few other things going on as well. But basically, I sort of backed away from my dream of doing music. And I went sort of a more traditional middle class white dude in America route. I just went to college. I first thought I was going to be a doctor because I like science. And, that I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing, so I just figured I would do something that was socially approved on you know a field that I thought was cool. Very quickly, I realized that was not what I should do. I changed my major in college. I graduated. I did well in school, and my had an advisor who basically told me, you should really go to grad school, which I agreed with. I wanted to at the time, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. Sort of just by happenstance, um, I just decided to go try law school. Again, just kind of showing that conditioning to do something that's socially approved. And so I went to law school. I did well. I was a lawyer for several years. And there were things about it that I liked, but honestly, most of the time, I was pretty miserable. So during that time, I really got into yoga, mainly at first because I felt my body was starting to go. I was sitting at a desk all the time, I was reading, staring at a computer, and I could just feel my posture, starting to go like this. And so I really started doing yoga for the stretching. This goes to show I still need to do a little more of it because I need to sit up. Um, so yeah, yoga really started me down this path. I would say that combined with my creative musical side as a child. Um, it wasn't long after I did a yoga teacher training that I quit being a lawyer. Yoga teacher training really unpacked a lot of that conditioning that I wasn't really aware of at the time, at least. Um, and yeah, shortly after that, I started making other content just because I knew I needed to do something different. I was making podcasts and that kind of thing. And I had always had this idea for morning content. Like, why don't we have alarm clocks that are not shocking us into being awake, but more peaceful? That was the basic concept. And when I started making podcasts, I was like, oh, this might be a good way to try this content out. And the rest is kind of history. So, I mean, that's the long version, but basically, I would say yoga and my musical past were really the two things that got me to this, making this kind of content. Thanks for your question, Monica. Next is Myra. Can you share the steps of how you created your channel and content? Maybe create a how-to document for a small fee. I don't know. I just want to learn from someone like you. Thanks. Happy New Year. It just goes to show how late I am. It's now like February 3rd. So, my bad. But thanks to you, Myra. Happy New Year to you as well. I hope January was great and you're off to a good start. I could make a how-to document for a small fee, but the truth is, there's no rocket science to this. It's all very doable. You can watch, you know, a handful of videos on YouTube or wherever. Um, Google how to start a podcast. That's all going to give you the basics. There's little tips and tricks and platforms and you know whatever things like that I've learned along the way, but that would get very in depth. Um, I mean, I've been doing this kind of stuff for over 5, almost coming up on 6 years now. So I'm not like decades into it, but certainly have my feet under me in terms of making content. And more than anything else, you just need to get into it. Like, I'm a very strong believer in don't sit and read all the information and overthink. Like, you just need to get started because it's like the molding of the clay that teaches you how to mold clay. If you just watch videos on molding clay, yeah, you'll get the basics of it, but basics are only useful for the basics. Like, if you want to make a good pot or whatever, I don't know why I'm using a clay as an example. If you want to paint, if you want to play trumpet, if you want to whatever, it's making content's just a skill. It's just like any other skill. Literally everything in life, almost everything in life is a skill. And to get any kind of, to be good at it to any degree, you just have to do it. There's no replacing molding the clay, playing your scales on the trumpet, taking shots, on a basketball hoop, whatever it is you want to do. Yes, do your reading, do all that stuff, become knowledgeable. But more than anything else, you got to practice. You got to get your reps in. So think about whatever content is meaningful for you to make, because to be successful at anything, you have to do it for a long time. So do something that's meaningful to you, uh, because that will help you weather the long term and get you through the slumps, which are inevitable. So that's what I would say. Free how-to on how to start a channel. Thanks again, Myra. The next one, uh, Amarillo, if that's your name. Is it my voice in those videos? If so, it's very relaxing. Yes, it's my voice and everything. Thank you. I'm glad you think it's relaxing. You can probably tell I do like a slight, there's like a delivery to the wake me up content. It's all my thoughts, it's all that stuff, but I'm delivering in a certain sort of calming, meditative cadence. I think I speak, now you hear me speak. This is what I normally speak like. Um, so I'm glad you think it's relaxing. Yes, it's me, despite the comments and the people who think that I'm AI, which I run a lot of content channels. There's dozens of those people on every channel, just thinking that everything's AI. It's, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of it out there, but no, I'm real. That's me. It's my voice. Nikki, Nikki Roberts. Do you have any background in music, acting, singing? Yes. Yes, I do. I've been very musical my whole life. Um, if you want a funny one about me, it's a little embarrassing. That's a kid. Who cares? When I was a little kid, my parents will tell me this. Um, I was a little kid, I would suck my thumb. I sucked my thumb for a really long time. And I would, as a kid does, you suck your thumb and you pick your nose. And I would suck my thumb and pick my nose and like push on my nose in certain ways that would make when I hummed, it would make my face vibrate like different ways. And I would do these little songs and stuff. My parents called it. They had some name for it. I don't remember it, but it was like a thing I did. So yeah, it's definitely the sound is part of me. On top of that, one of my probably my deepest love of life is music. Um, where I record Wake Me Up is also a recording studio for music. And I make music all the time. I actually have a very exciting project coming in that realm. I will I will let you all in the know when it's ready, but stay tuned on the music front. Thanks for your question, Nikki. Next, positively PJ. Good handle. How do you come up with such positive stories and affirmations? Uh, I don't know. I listen to a lot of stuff like that. Eckhart Tolle, Alan Watts. Um, Certainly, my experience in yoga. I have countless yoga teachers who have little one-liners that I can write a whole story about. A lot of them come from you all, listeners. People write me and send me long stories about their lives. People write me and send me short stories about their lives too. I get all kinds of requests, not only in email but in comments. Some of them come from little sayings that I use. We all have our little lines. Some of them are sayings my friends use. So they come from a lot of different places. Um, but I will say that having done so many episodes now, I do feel like sometimes I feel like I've run out of new stuff to say. So I hope you all don't feel that way. Um, yeah. Thanks for your question. Daisy, mother of dogs. We've got a dog lover here. Daisy's question. I sometimes wonder, how does it feel to have such an impact on so many people's lives, to give so many people inspiration, motivation, and courage to keep going? Um, yeah, it feels really good. Trying to think the best way to explain the way I feel about that. I guess the best answer is probably that, like, when I feel down, my brain is now trained to go to the YouTube comments and respond to all of you, because you all just say the nicest things to me, to each other, about yourselves. And it's just this like warm hug of positivity. Um, So thank you for that. Uh, yeah, it feels really good. I've always wanted to just, try to do something nice in the world, try to do good. I'm certainly not perfect. Um, but it does make me feel really good inside to be just trying to make other people feel good. And, we all have days where we feel down, mornings where you wake up and you feel like crap, whatever. We all have yeah, a lot of the same feelings. And I would just say it feels really good to hear from all of you, speak with all of you digitally, um, and to see you all grow. I mean, there's people I've been in touch with. I remember the name of the very first person who sent me an email. I, I might say her name wrong, but I believe it's Erin. I remember the names of those of you who comment, on most of the videos. Uh, and so I've watched your journeys a little bit, from afar, and that just, yeah, just to see you all grow and improve and hear your stories, that means the world to me. So the short answer is it feels great. I highly recommend doing good things for other people because it makes you feel good too. Next question, Tatiana. So many questions, so many answers. My question is when? Thank you for all you do. Love always. Right back at you, Tatiana. I don't know if I get what your question's about. When? If I knew the answer of time, I would make a YouTube video about it. I think the answer to when is always now. You know, uh, certainly my logical mind or my emotional mind too will find all kinds of reasons not to do things that matter right now. But not to be a Debbie Downer, but a lot of things in the world going on right now that plane crashes, stuff like that. Just remind us that life may feel boring and repetitive and all that, but it is fleeting. It is not guaranteed. So when? Now. Do it now. Do all of it now. Tell everyone you love them now. Get over any shame or embarrassment about being who you are or doing the things you want to do. Um, for example, like I don't tell a lot of my friends, I don't talk about wake me up a lot. There's certain friends who I talk about it with quite a bit because they're into it, and I have friends that think it's kind of weird. You know, that's okay. Everybody doesn't need to be into it. Um, but there was this process of like just letting go of what other people thought about this channel. The people I know in real life, because people form judgments and opinions about you based on that kind of stuff. And yeah, I just had to learn to not care. Who cares? You know, like it's one thing if they think it's weird and they just don't get it. And it's a different thing if they think you're weird because of it. If they think there's a problem with you because of it, then you probably just shouldn't be friends with them. But I tell you what, except for maybe your mom, not everyone you like is gonna like everything you do. Kind of got off topic there. But that's the answer to the question when. The answer is now. Okay. Thanks, Tatiana. Next, Shane Montgomery. There's no question here. I think this. If I had to guess, my team is pulling my leg on this one. Okay, I don't know if this is real. I don't know. I'm just gonna read it. I don't want Shane to feel left out. Shane's comment was, "Wow, Parker, you are so lean, graceful, and talented. What a handsome and strong dancer." um, Again, no question. I'm pretty sure my team is messing with me. That's pretty funny. um, Thank you. I'm glad you think I'm a handsome, strong dancer, Shane. Oh my god, I hope that makes sense. For real, that's a real question on here, no joke. Okay. The last thing I wanted to say is just a couple of announcements. That's all the questions. Thank you all for leaving them. I really appreciate it. And yeah, just a couple of quick announcements before I wrap this up. It's been like 20 minutes already. Sorry, I kind of drug it on. Um, New things. Don't forget that there is Wake Me Up Premium now. There are some bonus episodes there. You can sign up on YouTube, built into YouTube. Um, there's bonus episodes there that you can only get if you sign up for Wake Me Up Premium. Of course, it's not required. It's totally up to you if you just want a deeper experience, more content to digest. I know that I have a lot out there already, so no pressure. I am going to try, now that I'm back from uh, this little trip, to do some more bonus content, so I'll be sure to post in the community about that. Make sure you all know. The other new thing that I'm really excited about is my new channel, Sleep Escape. I mentioned that I've been doing content for several years now, and most of the content that I've made is actually sleep content. I was not the voice of it, but I was the producer. To think about it, and it took me a while to be ready to, I'll say, make sleep content, and I'm really proud of this channel, especially because I make sleep content. I'm very choosy about sleep content that I listen to. Most nights I try not to listen to it. Thankfully, I sleep pretty well. But we all have nights, and when that happens, I'm very, very selective about what I listen to. And I can honestly, truly say that I have fallen asleep to my own sleep content on Sleep Escape dozens and dozens of times already. Um, and usually, I don't like listening to my voice. Um, so if you haven't checked out Sleep Escape, I do encourage you to try. I'm doing a lot of similar types of things, meditation mainly, meditations with long series of affirmations at the end, so you have a really long runway, good amount of time to fall asleep. You don't feel rushed. They're still talking, and yeah, I really am excited to bring the same sort of powerful meditations that we do on Wake Me Up into the nighttime context as well, because I think bookending your day, both doing stuff in the morning and then again at night, is that's probably the most effective kind of meditation practice, mindfulness practice, positivity, whatever you want to call it. I think that's probably the most powerful routine, morning and night. So do go check out Sleep Escape if you haven't yet. I think you'll like it. Lastly, I am doubling down on my own content creation. And that is largely thanks to you all, this channel. So thank you. I mentioned my music. I forget who asked that question, but I'll be doing a lot of music this year, and I'll be sure to share it with you. Don't worry. I don't know if you know this, but I compose about half of the music That's like the background music that's in Wake Me Up. The music I make on my own is very different. It's very much more mainstream, like pop, hip hop stuff. Um, and I'm planning to start another channel, not Sleep Escape, not music, another channel that is a more transparent, unedited, unscripted view of my own mind, my own thoughts. You can't tell, I'm pretty philosophical. I'm a pretty deep thinker. Uh, and aside from just more affirmations and sleep content, that's the main request I've gotten from you all is, uh, yeah, more sort of authentic, open book style uh, content that reveals, who I am and how I think and that kind of stuff. So there's actually a hint hidden in this video about that channel. So if you can figure it out, if you have a guess, comment, comment on this video, and I'll give you a signal if I think you're right. That's all. Thanks so much again. I really love and appreciate you all so much. I hope that your year is off to a fantastic start. And as uh, as I say, keep going. Don't stop. Don't listen to anybody who's like doesn't think you can do something. You know what? Maybe I'll end with this. I think I've put this in an episode before, but the single best piece of advice I've ever gotten in my life from a cousin of mine, quite a bit older, 15, maybe 20 years older than me. Um, and so I always thought he was just like the coolest, you know, he's an older guy. Right? We were at this, I think it was a wedding, it was a family wedding. I was pretty young, probably 7, 8, something like that. Family wedding. And, we were there for the weekend or whatever. He and I were just tossing a football around. And the wedding was at this, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was at this place where there were other people there, It wasn't just our crew. And there were these older guys. We were doing little, stunt type things and being stupid with the football, throwing it over this, going around that, just being kids. And they were kind of talking trash to us, these old guys. And they were like, hey, I bet you can't throw the football to my cousin. They're like, I bet you can't throw the football over this building and he go catch it, me being the one who's supposed to go catch it. And we were like, done, we'll do it. And so I ran around, ran around. He threw the football over, and I caught it. And to be fair, at least as I remember it, who knows whether this memory is totally true. Uh, I caught it, and I made like a diving catch. It was actually pretty dope. Pretty dope. And the older guys were surprised. I mean, the chances of it being that cool, when they were talking trash, probably unlikely that we were going to do something as cool as we did. And I just remember cousin running over, he was a big and strong dude. He picked me up, put me on my feet, and he just looked at me and he was like, that just proves don't ever let anyone else tell you that you can't do something. And that has stuck with me so much because it's true. Whenever people whenever people tell me that I can't do something, especially now that I'm an adult. When I was a kid, your filter for this kind of stuff's not as good. But now that I'm an adult and I've done a few things, not a ton, few. He tells me I can't do something, there's like more to look into. That just tells me that there's more to look into. Why doesn't somebody think I can't do it? Anything it like fires me up to prove them wrong. So don't let anyone else tell you you can't do it. If it's your dream, if it's something you're excited about, if it's whatever, if you care about it, do it. Who cares what anybody says? Let it be fuel for your fire. All right, let's stop wasting your time. Appreciate you all. Take care of yourself. See you next week on Wake Me Up.